Hello, my name is Chris, and today I'm going to review the 2020 Kia Soul EV. This vehicle has been significantly changed from the previous year, the drivetrain being the biggest change. The base Soul EV has a range of 248 kilometers. This higher-end trim, or limited, has a 383 kilometer range, which makes one wonder, why is the base model offered in the first place? I'll talk about the engine specs later. The exterior styling has been evolving at Kia, and this Soul is quite stylish on the outside. This Soul EV is the second vehicle that manufacturers have sent to Ross in apple green, and I have seen this color on the road in Montreal a few times. The shape means that Soul EV is practical on the inside, not an insignificant quality. The space sitting in back is significant and sitting slightly higher up than you would in a compact, which is better for one's legs over longer trips. In front, Kia gives you a nice interior, though as is the case in all EVs, the interior is where you feel the cost saving, as the interior is not significantly better than the gas-powered Soul at many thousands of dollars less. There are leather seats, which do a good job, and Kia is the master at paying attention to giving the customer premium touchpoints, those interfaces in which you come into contact with the most. These limited seats are not just heated, they are cooled. A heat pump uses less energy to power the climate control. There is a HK sound system and a more sophisticated LED interior lighting scheme, which I did not film. All models come with a 10.25-inch infotainment screen and a full suite of electronic driving aids and a battery heating system. Details are scant about this battery heater. The battery heater system uses a 2 kilowatt heater to heat coolant entering the battery pack, allowing the battery pack to warm up more quickly, therefore allowing more aggressive regenerative braking that is otherwise restricted when the battery is cold. It would be a good idea for Kia to elaborate on their website this vital information to Canadians. Like I said earlier, the base Soul EV offers a more restrictive range and drivetrain, which explains the important price difference of both trims. This model, purchased over 60 months, goes for $875 Canadian, tax in, and that includes the near crazy Quebec and Canadian electric car rebates, which take off $13,000 off the price. The base Soul EV has a range of 248 kilometers. This limited has a range of 383 kilometers. If you live in the city, driving range anxiety is essentially over at 383 kilometers, especially if you have a garage with stage 2 charging. Base Soul EV has 134 horsepower, which is disappointing. This limited has 201 horsepower and 291 pounds of torque, and both have a 1-speed transmission. The charge times for the base Soul EV are 36 hours for the wall outlet, 6 hours and 10 minutes for the level 2 charging, 54 minutes for the level 3 charging at 100 kilowatts. This limited that I'm driving today charges in 59 hours using the wall outlet, 9 hours and 35 minutes for the level 2 charge, and 1 hour using the level 3 100 kilowatt charger. Soul EV is available in front-wheel drive only. Here are my thoughts on the road. Hello car lovers! Today Ross brings me the Kia Soul EV 2020, hot off the assembly line. What to say about this vehicle? Well, we'll start with the exterior styling. The exterior styling is useful. It's playful, you could say. I would say perhaps myself and Ross shared these sentiments. He felt more he was a Nero guy than a Soul guy. But nevertheless, that's why you have a range of vehicles, is to please to the greatest number of people possible. From a mechanic's point of view, they're pretty much the same. I'm going to go over a few of those things. All right. But before that, I'm going to talk about this interior. I like Kia interiors. They seem well built. When you're touching the transmission dial here, there's no slack. It feels quality. This steering wheel, this Kia steering wheel, every time I get into a Kia steering wheel of an all-equipped model, I don't understand why all its rivals do not do the exact same thing. Wonderful thick grips at 10 and 2. There's kind of like a foam behind this leather, which makes it soft to grip. The leather quality is amazing. It's got like this hyper dark gray, not quite black color. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. Kia with the touch points are top notch. What else to say about this vehicle? These seats are very comfortable. There's plenty of room in back for passengers. There's enough room in the trunk, perhaps not quite as much as the Nero, but there's still plenty of room. And if you bring the seats down, you'll have plenty of room. A vehicle that specializes, I still think, in an urban environment. I think if you have lots of things to do in the city, well, the electric efficiency, that is to say the regeneration and everything, really makes the 400 kilometers awesome. Of course, that range will diminish greatly during the winter. Another thing that you feel, which is hard to notice when you're in the showroom, is driving these things around. First of all, the drivetrain drives exactly like a regular vehicle, and there is a tremendous amount of torque. I love the torque of an electric vehicle. Look at this right now. Whoop, I just feel it pushing my back, and it's really fun. It feels refined, and when you have a lot of torque, it feels luxurious in a sense, right? Because luxurious vehicles tend to have torque. Also, the customer satisfaction for these types of vehicles is always 100%. I say it in all my videos. I'm not green, but I feel it when I'm driving these vehicles. This is definitely the future, and it feels good to drive the future. There's something to be said about driving the latest technology, something to be said about the price of this vehicle too. Here in Quebec, there is a hyper generous tax credit. For those of you who are not in Quebec or not Canadian, basically there's a $5,000 rebate for certain eligible vehicles. This one is, and there is an $8,000 rebate for eligible vehicles from the province. The province is basically a state. So $13,000 off Canadian, which is about $10,000 American. A tremendous rebate. So for example, when building this vehicle here in the province of Quebec, over 60 months, the monthly payment, tax included, is $875 a month. The gas version, all equipped, is somewhere a little bit below $625 a month for more or less the same vehicle. So you still have over $250 to catch up in fuel savings. I don't think you're going to get that. However, the gap, along with the rebates, along with the hyper high taxes of gas, is making the gap closer and closer. Another thing I want to address is the range anxiety that these vehicles generate. Right now, they're doing about 400 kilometers. During the cold of winter, maybe 250. Who does 250 kilometers in one day? I don't know anyone. And also, it's for that once or twice a year that you're going to go out on a road trip, you can simply rent a vehicle. They're not that expensive. There's a lot of leases that are to be had with unlimited kilometers. I mean, that range anxiety is becoming less and less of a concern for me. And I am somebody who checks the gas tank often. So right now I'm driving, there's 304 kilometers left, and I feel in total confidence to do whatever it is I have to do during the day. If it were at 100 kilometers, I'd be stressing, right? So before, those old EVs that had, like, not even 200 kilometers of range, it wasn't really serious. But with 400 kilometers, I feel it reaches a large majority of drivers. And those are my thoughts on the Kia EV Soul. I think this is recommendable for the lease. I think it's recommendable for the purchase. And also when buying, there are excessively high interest rates. If you have a good cash down, it can really reduce the monthly payment. Something to think about. And also, don't forget to do that when you're doing your math when comparing with other vehicles. Because sometimes when you're going to buy the gas-powered version of perhaps a better vehicle, well, you won't get that high interest rate. And sometimes by putting a good cash down, you're going to get a good deal. So that's it. Those are my thoughts. By the way, if you like this video, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. And if you really like it, you should subscribe. And that is it.